Okay, good morning. This is your warm-up number 2 over Pythagorean's Theorem. I hope that you guys found this to be an easy lesson the first time. This is one of the most important things that you're going to be able to use on your CDA. So remember, you have to know two sides in order to find the third side, and you must be dealing with a right triangle. So notice that you do have a quiz on Friday for even classes and on Monday for odd classes. That quiz will cover what you've already done, Pythagorean's Theorem, and what you're learning today, which is the introduction to trigonometry. Okay, so remember that you can find these videos on my website to make sure that you're ready, and you can also go to tutoring on Tuesday with Miss Anderson, the other Miss Anderson in Lower Warndorf's building, and you can also go to tutoring on Wednesday with Miss Brown after school. Okay, so let's review Pythagorean's Theorem. Alright, so remember the formula that we're using here for all of these problems is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And the most important thing to remember is that C is the diagonal side. A and B, of course, will be the legs. C is the hypotenuse. So looking at this picture, the side that we don't know is this side, and we normally call that side A. A is normally the vertical piece. B is normally the horizontal piece, so 67 would be B. And that means 73 is my C. So now we need to plug it into the formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Alright, so we don't know what a is, so a stays a squared. B becomes 67 squared, which equals c, which is 73 squared. So the goal is to get a by itself so that we can solve. So order of operations says we have to do the exponents first. So you can either put this in your calculator as 67 times 67 or hit 67 and then your x squared button. And that gives me a squared equals, well, plus 4,489 equals 73 squared, which is 5,329. Alright, now I need to get a by itself, so this gets to stay. That means 4,489 needs to move to the other side, and I have to subtract in order to solve. So I'm subtracting this number on both sides. Excuse my handwriting. I'm trying to write as neat as possible. Alright, so a squared, because this cancels, equals, using my calculator, 5,329 minus 4,489 gives me 840. And remember, to get rid of the square, we have to take the square root. So I'm taking the square root of a squared and the square root of 840. Now I'm pretty sure that 840 is not a perfect square, so we are going to round our answer to the tenths place. Okay, tenths. That's one place behind the decimal. So to get the square root in our calculator, remember you hit your second button, which is your blue button, and x squared, and then type the number in. So if we round this is what I get, 28.98, and this would be the hundredths place. I can only keep the tenths place. So I look back, and that is an 8, which makes my 9 go up 1. And if my 9 goes up 1, then that makes the 8 go up 1. So we'd have 29.0. It's important that you keep this 0.0 even though 29 is a whole number, because they told me that I had to round to the 10th place, and the 10th place means I have to keep one place behind the decimal. So there's my answer. A equals 29.0. Alright, you can pause the video if you need to ask questions or verify anything. Alright, so I'm going to clear my board because I need some more space so that we can work out number 2. Alright, so for number 2, this over here would be A, because that's the vertical piece. B would be 81, because that's the horizontal piece. And remember, the side that is across from your right angle is C. That works every single time. So we're plugging into A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Alright, so A is 71. So 71 squared plus B is 81. So 81 squared equals C squared. So notice this time we're solving for C because that is the unknown variable. So 71 squared is 5,041 plus 81 squared is 6,561, and that all equals C squared. Alright, now I just need to add these two together. So 5,651 plus 5,041, we get 11,602. And remember, that's equal to C squared. I just added these two things together. And now to get C, because that's what we're looking for, not C squared, I take the square root. And that will give me my answer. So the second square root of 11,602 gives me a decimal, so I'm going to have to round it again. So 107.71. And remember, I can only keep one place behind the decimal, so I look back and that's a 1. The 1 does not make the 7 go up, so I'll just drop the 1 and I'll have my answer. 107.7. That is my C. And this should be an approximation, so I should have my little squiggly lines because C is approximately that amount. Alright. Any questions? Again, you can pause the video so that you guys can discuss it. Alright, let me clear. And let's go down to our last example, which is C. So for C, A is 12 because that's the vertical piece. B is not given, so I know that's the side I'm solving for. And C is 37. So we're plugging into Pythagorean's theorem again. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So A is 12. So 12 squared plus B squared, because we don't know what B is. And C is 37. So 37 squared. Alright. Now I just need to figure out what is 12 squared, which is 144, plus B squared equals 37 squared, which is 1,369. So we subtract 144 so that we get B by itself. That will cancel, so I'll have B squared equals 1,225. And don't forget that last step, to take the square root. So b equals 35. So no need to round in this example because I got a whole number and all of my numbers are whole numbers, so it makes sense. So always go back and check and make sure that whatever the number is that you found is close in numbers to the other numbers that you see up here. So if I got like 104, I would know something went wrong because 104 is not close to 12 or 37. So if you need to talk about this further, you can pause the video. Just want to remind you again that we do have a quiz on Friday and Monday. And you have one more week of learning new things, and then your CDA will be the last week before Christmas. So this time is going to go by fast. Make sure if you don't understand something that you're asking questions either to Miss Hall or you're going to tutoring and asking questions, okay? Because we need a good grade. And please don't forget about the class competition. The best behaved class with the highest average will have a pizza party when I come back, okay? Have a good day.